welcome in. Get this all figured. Welcome to Target Score Postgame Live, where we've got a postgame after 1 minute and 46 seconds of basketball was played here at the CAA Centre. The game has been not postponed, canceled by the CEBL due to player safety. So the floor, long story short, floor was too wet due to the humidity. We will get into that in just a second, but both teams have cleared. They've been talking to fans, and everything goes off, without a hitch to start. And after that, the players were complaining a little bit before. We have a clip from Mike Rainbow that we'll have in just a little bit here. But Matt Bonomi's with me. I'm Joey Slattery. We want to thank our sponsors, Holt Dental's Weekday Mondays and Finn McCool's for sponsoring this. I'm sure there's people at Finn's right now watching this, so I apologize. There wasn't much of a game to watch at the watch party at Finn McCool's. What a crazy time. No one's gone through this before. That's been the whole topic of conversation. Matt, maybe you can give us a little tour here of what you're showing us.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek at it, Joey. So what we were told that by a couple of folks from the league and those that were around in the media area there was that the ice was put in the arena the other day for, I believe it's called Hockey Day in Brampton. It's an event that happens every year. So it was put in yesterday. The event, I believe, is next week or it's upcoming. It's a hockey event that happens every year. NHL guys, current, former, anybody who's anybody in hockey comes to it. But what had happened was condensation started to appear on the floor, and it's literally wet. Like, I will show you what this looks like. I'm going to try to give you a better angle here on the floor, Joey, because you can see the footprint. So there's like water. I mean, some of the footprints you can kind of see. It is like squeaky. It is wet. So if I was walking on this a minute ago, and it very much is slippery and like sticky almost, or like it's not suitable to play at all. But it's everywhere on the court too. So if you actually go on the floor, it's even worse. And I think there's a clip too that was posted to the Instagram story as well of Xavier Moon, I think, slipping, and Sean East tried to cross him up kind of thing. And it turned out they were actually just skating. So it's ice that caused the issue. Plus the rain here. It's raining in Brampton. It was thundering earlier and it was super humid outside. So we were told that the mix of the ice inside underneath the floor and the rain and humidity outside kind of caused this disaster. And it's interesting too, because when we walked in, we saw this kind of floor in here. Now, this is not the original floor that they have or the normal floor that they have in here, this kind of tile or like rubber like stuff. It's normally darker and it's a black kind of a black material, or a material that's colored black. So it's not the same. So you kind of wondered if something was up. It looked a lot different, but it was also freezing in here too, Joe. It was way colder than it normally is. So there were a few things there, I think, that played into it. But again, ice underneath the floor here that was put in the other day for Hockey Day in Brampton is essentially what caused this whole disaster to happen.
Yeah, and it's not till Tuesday. So, people are frustrated here. And I know there's a lot of people that are putting some blame on Brampton. The team's just pissed as everybody in the comments right now. And this is the CAA Centre. This is where the arena where they play, and they share the arena with the Brampton Steelheads, which is an Ontario Hockey League team, a major junior team here in Brampton. And so it is a dual purpose facility, but we've had this in Winnipeg. Like, was it not last year, the year before? Maybe I think it was last year when the Jets were in the playoffs, and they had it over. And I remember my feet getting cold when I was calling a basketball game. But there was no humidity issues. And we knew it. Remember, Matt, before the game started, I said to you, it looks a little foggy in here. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know what was going on. And then we saw the people that were bringing they're almost like big sweepers. They're pulling them. And that was to try and get some of the moisture off of the floor. But this is something that really popped up during the warm-ups is when they really started to notice it. Let's just get right into it. I did interview Mike Rainbow. I wasn't able to get Alex Serd, unfortunately, but Mike Rainbow talked about it after the game here. So let's bring this one up and listen to this.
Okay. Just your initial reaction. I don't even know how to form this question. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's obviously super bizarre. We had a bit of an inkling that it wasn't going to be playable sort of at the tail end of warm-up. There's a moment where players from both teams got together to talk about how slippery it was and the conditions. So wasn't totally out of left field by the time we got to the start of the game, but obviously, circumstances out of everybody's control.
What's the conversation like when you go back to the locker room knowing you're not going to play? It's just, especially with what's on the line, it's not just a regular season game. This is the game one of the finals.
For sure. I mean, I think at the forefront of all of the decisions was everybody's health and safety. As coaches, we didn't want to put any of the players into harm's way if it looked like it wasn't going to be playable. And the players were really unified and doing what was best for players' health. And I think the league made the right decision.
How do we go forward from here?
I think there's a statement forthcoming that I'm not allowed to comment on, unfortunately, Joey. But we're looking forward to getting back to Winnipeg.
Yeah, and it's just as simple as that. Just got to get past this, get home, get back in your routine for game 1 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously the circumstances are the same for both teams. We had a trip out here, and now we return, and we've got to get ready for whatever happens next.
You ever had anything like this before happen in your career?
I've never had a game delayed. The first game at Nationals with U of W against Ottawa, the fire alarm went off, and it was delayed. But we ended up playing the game. So this is the first time of a game being canceled for me.
Well, good luck on the
That's the Mike Rainbow here. Every time I do it this way, it messes everything up. But this I don't know what to say. I've never been a part of anything like this, Matt. The vibes were so high leading into it. The crowd was buzzing. And I saw some glimpses on the TV. It didn't look nearly as full as it felt in here. I can say that for sure. And everything got off. The players were introduced, and then all of a sudden there's a media timeout, and we're trying to figure out what the heck happened. You and I went out. We're like, okay, let's go grab some food. And as I go peek back in, still nothing happening. And then everybody starts filing out. And then I see people walking out of the building, and that's when we went back in, and it says "Thank you, fans" on the screen, and they're announcing that the game is canceled.
Yeah, I've got a couple thoughts on this. First and foremost, I would defend the Brampton Honey Badgers big time. I mean, again, this is not something that is their fault. This is an operations thing that's, I would guess, falls on the CAA Centre and the folks that manage that stuff. I mean, again, not to point the finger here, but I will go to bat for the Brampton Honey Badgers big time. I mean, Al Whitley, Leonard Asper, like they know how much is on the line with this game and what it means to host a finals game in this city for the first time since they've relocated. So props to them for putting on a heck of a show. I know it only lasted less than 2 minutes, but at the same time too, I want to make it clear for all the people that are commenting, they had nothing to do with this. And for the people that think that as well, that I've seen a ton of comments of they should be prepared for this kind of thing. I mean, you can't prepare for that. It's like preparing for a natural disaster, man. Like you can't. You might know that maybe there's some chance it happens, but when it actually happens, there's really not much you can do. So in this case, I mean, there was literally nothing they can do. Like I think head coach Rainbow said it perfectly. Like the priority is player safety. Second, I just saw a comment in here, Joey. I don't know if it's still in there, but wondering what the impact of this will be on the league overall from John McTavish. Obviously, there's a lot of negative stuff on social media. I mean, people love a storyline where they can go at whether it's a league or a player or an individual or whoever it may be, where they can be on the bad side of it just to kind of stir the pot. But I will say, I mean, Joey, like Rainbow just said it, it's interesting to think that we've never really had much like this. Like we only had one thing like this earlier this year where the AC went out in the building and then there was some condensation on the floor, and then they had to determine if they were going to continue to play or not, and then ultimately they fixed the situation there. But I think in my eyes, man, like this is very damaging for the future of this team in Brampton, because if this was a regular season game, I think someone would deserve a slap on the wrist. This is the finals, man. Like this is your bread and butter. It's on national television. It's on CBC. It's on TSN. It's online. It's across the country. Everybody can watch it. And I think that part of the thing that would bother me a lot is like this is literally, as the saying goes, your Super Bowl, right? And to have this go, as you see the statement there from the league, it's just not. You just can't have this stuff happen. And eventually there has to be an end to it, right? Like it can't be over and over again. Like we had that mishap in Montreal a couple of years ago with the rain outside and the outdoor game at IGA Stadium, and people kind of shrugged that off. But I mean, that damaged the league in a way too, right? Like that was I hate to say it, but a laughing stock for a lot of people, because the idea was great. The execution and the timing obviously wasn't. In a situation like this, I don't really know. Like I said, if this was a regular season game, I would guess that obviously you could brush it under the rug kind of thing. But in this case, I don't really know how you do that. Like there are hundreds of comments already on things. Like people are watching this and following this league, and it's gathered enough eyes and viewers that this is a big enough story where I think, like, again, this has to go deeper than just, you know what, we'll solve it in a different way. And we've heard a couple of solutions or ideas that they have to get past this, to finish the finals. But I mean, again, it's just so damaging to the point where I don't even know how you kind of, one, mend this relationship, and two, continue to do things if there aren't solutions, or if problems like this arise in the biggest moments in the most important time of your season, right?
I totally agree. I just want to read out the statement real quick. They just posted it to social media, and it was emailed out to the media as well. Following the cancellation of Game 1 of the 2026 CEBL Finals due to condensation on the court in Brampton, the Canadian Elite Basketball League has confirmed that the finals will be decided in a single championship game. So it is no longer the finals. It is now a final. The Winnipeg Seabears and Brampton Honey Badgers will meet for the 2026 CEBL Championship on Saturday, August 15th at Canada Life Centre in Winnipeg, the previously scheduled date and host for Game 2. Tip-off is set for 2:30, so nothing else changes there. The decision was made by the league in consultation with both clubs, with the best-of-3 series unable to be completed within the scheduled window. A one-game championship was determined to be the fairest and most practical path to crowning a champion. It also returns the finals to the formal format used in the 2019 through 2025 seasons, when the CEBL champion was decided in a single championship game. And then the details will go on from there, and there will be updates provided as we move forward. But everything you said is, bang on here. This is just something we've never witnessed before. Even being here, we saw, and Chris Wiggins is going to join us here in just a second too, because he's watching from Vancouver. But we saw president, vice president, owners, coaches all rushing to the back of the stadium, where they huddled in a change room or a boardroom. I don't know what it was. And they hashed it out relatively quickly to try and figure out what the next steps were here. It's tough. I mean, this is a tough look. I've gotten the texts, I've gotten the direct messages. I'm seeing, it is a tough look. And at the end of the day, yeah, it was a 6-6 basketball game, a minute 46 into the game when it was called. I've never seen anything like it. If you're just joining here, welcome to Postgame Live. The game was canceled due to player safety. There was condensation on the floor. Mike Rainbow talked about it. We'll get to that comment in just a little bit. A statement was just released at the last few minutes. Matt Bonomi, we'll give you another look here. He's on the floor. It's hard to tell on the screen, but it is slippery. We went on the floor immediately after, and it certainly was a player safety issue. There's no way around it. This was the decision to be made. It just shouldn't have gotten to this point. As mentioned, Matt mentioned, if you're just joining, there's a hockey day coming up in Brampton where they put the ice in early. And what they tried to do is get it in yesterday. So there was no court time for the Seabears for practice. The Brampton Honey Badgers were practicing at the Raptors 905 facility in Mississauga. And it was fine this morning. As we came into, warm-ups, that's when players started to notice it might not be good. And Mike Rainbow, and we will replay it in just a little bit, talked about this being an issue that they kind of saw coming at the end of warm-ups before they got on to play. So nothing really new here in terms of what they weren't caught off guard. It's a very unfortunate situation, and there's some, they've got to figure out something here. Let's bring in Chris Wiggins now. Chris is watching from Vancouver. Wiggy, what's going on, buddy? This is it's been a weird one. What's it like watching from home and seeing it on the broadcast?
Well, TSN went to the top contest moments, and then CBC, the tough blow was CBC going to, Murdoch Mysteries. That was just...
Whoa. Murdoch Mysteries is a quality program, Chris. That's a quality program right there.
Yeah, and if D was here, he'd say the same thing. This is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Montreal 2.0, and now we get one game in Winnipeg. It's just wild. It's wild.
Well, there's a couple. I had one person text me saying, why don't they just do the 2 games and kind of do it in aggregate points total? and to be fair, it's not a way to do it in North American sports on the fly. I think this is a way that the CEBL's used to. It makes a ton of sense to have it a single elimination game. But there was a lot of branding. Like, we were talking about the balls having the stamp on it, right? They had the commemorative balls this year. It looked really sick. But yeah, it is what it is. The league has to move forward. There's a game on Saturday. The teams are on their regular scheduled travel to Winnipeg. Got to put this behind them. And now the series mentality is gone. This is 100% totally done. So they'll move on to Winnipeg.
For the CEBL. I was just talking to Doug McLean. Like, hard pressed to find another league that's had a tough couple weeks like the CEBL has. Like one after the other, and it's just you feel for, again, player safety first, right? Like, luckily nobody was injured, and it was a banger start. Like, Sean East with a big and 1-3, like it was off to a good start, and it looked good in there, and it was loud, and so yeah, tough.
I just I'm thinking about it. I feel bad for all the broadcasters on that one. S was there, the sideline reporter. He was fun, having a good time, and just like that, it's kind of pulled beneath you. And that's something I can tell you. I've been in these broadcasts before, and you don't plan for that. That's not something you plan for. So
I heard some A-listers too, like some NBA guys were there. Is that true?
Yeah, Dwight Powell was here. Yeah. We got video. We were ready to show that on the show. And I think Dylan Brooks was here too. I didn't see him, but he was supposed to be here. So Rowan Barrett, the head of Basketball Canada, was here. There were some big names in the basketball community here. I don't think they're going to hold this against anybody, but no, this is a absolutely crazy thing. There's been struggles.
How do you have it happen? Maybe this is a bad argument, but like, how do you have it happen? You have one game in Brampton, and it's the finals. The first time you're having a 3-game series, and again, as Bonomi said, national television, TSN, CBC. Like, can we not put the ice in? Again, maybe like I'm not really, understanding the logistics of what it takes to have a court and an ice and, get everything ready for a scheduled arena or whatever. But yeah, I just don't get how you let that happen, having ice underneath hardwood before the first game of a CEBL Finals for the first time ever.
And it was just put in yesterday. Like, I don't think the ice is frozen. Like, when we were sitting here, the one thing I noticed, because we've had this in Winnipeg where the Jets are in the playoffs. So there's it's like a black flooring. It's almost like a plexiglass. I don't know. They put it on top, but the ice is coming out of the corners. Usually nothing's coming out. You can see through it, but it's like coming over the top. So what I think might have happened, this is all speculation, but I don't think it was fully set. And there's a lot of humidity in here too. It was raining, as Matt said. It was kind of a perfect storm of everything that was happening. It was rain. People were in here. It was, it was a packed place.
Yeah.
But it's just, you kind of sense that something wasn't right. And, when that timeout came in and they said it's going to be at least 20 minutes. And I'm like, the heck takes 20 minutes, right? And then you kind of knew. We saw people walking out on the concourse and walking out of the door, and it's like, oh no, this game's over.
Yeah, sorry, I just went off there for a second. I had a chance to catch up with a couple of folks from the arena, and they said obviously like the management here in Brampton is really upset, and again reiterated the fact that I saw a comment here. It's not on the team. Again, none of this has anything to do with the team itself, as much as you could sit here and try to play the blame game that it's Brampton's fault. It's not Brampton's fault. Brampton is a tenant in this arena. It's CAA Centre, which is run by the city. So it has nothing to do with the team itself. Obviously, the team has no decision.
I just want to bring this up because Marsh Mamba, thanks for the comments. And I know you're really frustrated with this, but it's actually not anything to do. Like, this is the thing. This is the arena itself. They don't own the arena. This is not on the franchise. It's on the arena. And what we've been talking about is I'm
a little on the league too.
I'm curious. No, one second. I'm curious if this is going to be the last game we see in Brampton. It's not the end of the franchise, but I don't see a path where this franchise stays in Brampton. The franchise, to their credit, has been pushed around a little bit, right? The OHL team came in, they've been kind of pushed to the side, and they're a second fiddle in this arena. And what happened here is they had no say in this. And the other thing with the league, Chris, and I know you'll touch on this, I don't want to take it away from you, but they didn't plan this. This isn't championship weekend, right? If this happened in Winnipeg last year, it'd be a totally different thing because you had all the time in the world to plan this. So the league's had a tough time, and I'm not trying to defend the league in that sense. But in this one, they had home court for game one, but we didn't know if it was going to be Niagara just a few days ago or here. So as much as they tried their best, they went forward with it. They tried to take the measures that they could. They were wiping the floor right down to the very end. and it just didn't work out. But this is a tough look for sure for Brampton in general, like the city.
Yeah, it's not.
Maybe it's just not ready for basketball.
It's not on Brampton, in my opinion, anyway. Like, I would imagine the league is having conversations with the venue to make sure that everything will be ready, you know. And so, again, one game, man. Like, how do you not prevent that from a league's perspective? You know, I just like, and if that's the case where the league is talking to the arena, like, you know, we have to be able to maybe flex both ways. Like, if I'm the league, I'm fighting, you know, I'm going to battle for that, you know, ice to not be there. You know,
but what are you going to do? Like, that's at the end of the day, the game has to be played. So whether they do it or not, like they had to practice at the Raptors 905 facility. There's nowhere else to go. Like, that's the other thing. It's not like there's just like an abundance of arenas ready for a national broadcast on TV. Like, you have to play here, and they were assured that it wouldn't be an issue. That's the other thing. They wouldn't have done this if the arena was like, no, this isn't going to work. So this is something that obviously they were assured was going to go through. And it didn't, because no one was prepared for this. It's not like anybody was sitting there like the Brampton guys, like, oh my God, I hope no one sees it. Like, that wasn't, everybody was shocked, like up and down, whether it was the team, whether it was the officials, like no one knew what to do. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I'm not like saying, oh, they should have known what to do. We've never seen this before in the CEBL. We've never seen this with a short window. I know this has happened in other areas and other games and other leagues, but it's just a totally different ballgame. Like, these guys are gearing up to go to their teams in Europe and overseas. Like, they cannot extend this anymore. Right. But this is something they got to look at now. It's like, what is the workaround here? And do they have to put it in the contracts with these arenas that, hey, there will be no ice put in before a game, particularly in the playoffs? I don't give a shit if, pardon my language, now I'm pulling a Chris Wiggins. I don't give a care if you're, you know, in the OHL or the WHL or whatever. If there's a game, if we have a game played in the playoffs, we are not playing with ice put in. It's got to be contractually put in, and it has to be on the hockey teams to figure out the workaround. This is crazy. This is a professional league. It is the top tier basketball in Canada. You can't have this. So this is something that they're going to go back to the drawing board to. But like, it's just like thing after thing after thing. Like, this is going to have to be the most impactful offseason they've ever had.
There are two things here with this too that if I could add. One, we had something similar to this earlier in the season in Brampton. I forget who we were playing, but they had an issue with the air conditioning, and it was so hot out because they were doing work on the roof. There ended up being like a stench in here, and then there was a crazy thing where the air didn't work, and then it got so humid in here that the floor was actually wet. Well, Al Whitley and company were on the phones here. For those that don't know who Al Whitley is, he's the team CEO here in Brampton, who's done a phenomenal job. They were running the phone lines like no one's business, and they were able to sort it out. They had everyone and their brother that was associated with the CAA Centre in here to fix it, to have, I want to say, maybe 600 people in the building that night. So it's not like they're doing this for sellouts. So they're putting everything on the line in order to make sure everything's good here. And two, I look at the playoff format and now, and obviously, again, if you tuned into the earlier podcast, I said that the greatest thing this league has ever done in its existence is turn the finals into a 3-game series. I'm actually thankful that they haven't done that yet, and it hasn't even been done because going back to one game, it's fine. Like, if you did 3 games last year and then you went back to one game this year to solve this problem, people would flip their tops. I mean, you're still on that, the expectation is still a 1-game series or a one game final, right? Like, that's what people are used to. So you haven't put the print in the ground yet, so you can still kind of do that and get away with it. I mean, for the people that are saying do a 3-game series at the Canada Life Centre, again, we mentioned that earlier on the pod, in the pregame pod. I don't play, but I would never want to play a best 2 out of 3 in another team's arena, especially when it's Winnipeg, who has 10,000 fans every game. I mean, you're not going to win 2 out of 3 games. Like, that's just not, in my mind, that defeats the whole purpose of the 3-game series. As much as I respect it, I know, Joey, that the people in the arena here tonight were talking about potentially playing the first 2 games in Winnipeg and then coming back here for one. I think that's also kind of backwards, and why obviously they didn't choose to go with that is because, in my opinion, it quite frankly makes no sense to let the higher seed play 2 games at home and then go on the road for the last game, unless you're doing like a best of 7 or something, and even then that would still be backwards. And then final point, like I was just talking to these guys off camera a second ago, one of the things, like I think this has major implications on the future of this team in Brampton. Again, I'm speculating based on my own opinion, and talking to fans and people that were buzzing around here a second ago. And Joey, I think you kind of said it a couple minutes ago as well. This is something that I think has a forever damaging effect. Like, it's not like you can just forget about this next year. like this will be the story of the CEBL for the foreseeable future, like that outdoor game in Montreal was. There's still people that are talking about that, right? And there's still people that are mentioning, like I got a text earlier saying, is this game at IGA Stadium or is it at the CAA Centre, right? Like, so that kind of stuff is very, I mean, like it's something that I think you have to look at in the grand scheme of things. And again, the difference is the new management in Brampton and this league will not look at this as you know what, like it is what it is. That's not going to happen. I can guarantee you that right now. And again, they haven't told us anything. We don't operate under any assumption that they're going to do that.
And we've seen a lot of angry faces today, like from officials.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and think about who you had here, man. You had Rod Black and Charles Kissy on a TSN panel live in building. You had the trophy in the building. You had Rowan Barrett. You had Mike Meeks. You had Nav Superfan. You had AJ Lawson. You had Dwight Powell. You had Winnipeg fans traveling from everywhere. You had the biggest crowd in team history that we've had regular season or postseason in this building tonight to all watch a minute and 46 seconds or something of basketball. Yeah. I mean, you're telling me someone's not going to drop the hammer on this and come down hard? Again, speculation, but I would be very hard-pressed to think that everyone's going to go to bed tonight, wake up tomorrow morning, and just forget about all of it.
Yeah, no, totally. Happened. And this is like bringing this up, like the franchise is not in control of the arena, but you have to know to go through everything before the game, which they did. Like this is the thing. Like we were here hours earlier. They were going through everything. They were checking the floor. Like they this is what they do, right? They're making sure that it's well connected. They were doing some preventative stuff where they were dragging like these big mops to make sure that everything was clear. They had just cleaned the floor for this. Like it was a spotless floor. We weren't allowed to walk on it. Like, not because it was slippery, but because it was in pristine shape. Like, they wanted it TV ready. Everything was looked at. It was once there was humidity in the building, people came in, there was a ton of rain, and the ice underneath, I don't think, had a chance to set. So, like, there are these things in place is what I'm trying to get at. It caught everybody off guard. And I'll play this clip again, since we're all here, as Matt is showing us the court again. But here is Mike Rainbow. He said they only got an inkling about it at the end of warmups, that the guys were starting to complain that was a little bit slippery. It wasn't slippery during warmups. Like morning shoot, no one was complaining about a slippery floor. So this was relatively new. Here, I'm going to see if I can bring it up here.
It's not the most uncommon, like, mishap either. It happened in the NBA in January with the Heat and the Bulls. It's just unfortunate timing.
Yeah, here. Let's take a listen here to this clip here from Mike Rainbow.
That's okay. Just your initial reaction. I don't even know how to form this question. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's obviously super bizarre. I mean, we had a bit of an inkling that it wasn't going to be playable sort of at the tail end of warm-up. There was a moment where players from both teams got together to talk about how slippery it was and the conditions, so it wasn't totally out of left field by the time we got to the start of the game, but obviously circumstances out of everybody's control.
What's the conversation like when you go back to the locker room knowing you're not going to play? It's just, especially with what's on the line, it's not just a regular season game. This is the game one of the finals.
For sure. I mean, I think at the forefront of all of the decisions was everybody's health and safety. As coaches, we didn't want to put any of the players into harm's way if it looked like it wasn't going to be playable. And the players were really unified and doing what was best for players' health. And I think the league made the right decision.
How do we go forward from here?
I think there's a statement forthcoming that I'm not allowed to comment on, unfortunately, Joey. But we're looking forward to getting back to Winnipeg.
Yeah, and it's just as simple as that. Just got to get past this, get home, get back into your routine for game 1 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously the circumstances are the same for both teams. We had a trip out here, and now we return, and we've got to get ready for whatever happens next.
You ever had anything like this before happen in your career?
I've never had a game delayed. The first game at Nationals with U of W against Ottawa, the fire alarm went off, and it was delayed. But we ended up playing the game. So this is the first time of a game being canceled for me.
Well.
Yeah, this is crazy. I just, and Marsh Mom, I get it, man. Like, Marsh Mom is here. Disappointed. And I get it. I think you echo a lot of people here. And I really do appreciate these comments. But, I don't think if fans are disappointed what happened in Brampton because of the floor and aren't going to come to Winnipeg where this would never happen. Again, it's an NHL arena. This is they're used to this multi-purpose facility stuff, and there is no ice there right now. I think it's the complete opposite. I think if you're in Winnipeg, you're guaranteed to see the trophy. It's a winner take all, right? People filled that stadium for championship weekend.
Place
If
is gonna
people
be
are so
so
disappointed and they don't want to come to Winnipeg because of something that happened in Brampton, well, that's just being a sulky dum-dum. Like, I don't even know what else to say about that. And I know, again, this isn't a shot at you, Marsh Mamba. I know you're feeling this, but generally what I'm saying here is that's if anything, you should be going because there's no second chance on Sunday, right? It's a winner take all, and I hope it's the opposite of what you're saying. And as you said here too, and I'll bring it up to be fair, that they should lose their team, better market next year. The city itself, maybe we'll see what happens, but this franchise has put in a lot of work. So there's a difference between the city and the franchise. I just want to point that out. But all of this is valid. Everybody on the comments, John McTavish thinks the opposite. He thinks it's more likely to be a sellout. I tend to agree with John on this one. It's a tough thing here that they're going through, and they're trying to figure this up. And I love Cam's positivity. It's still going up, and we could do more with this next year. And I agree with you that all this stuff's going to be taken in. I think the one thing we could say is there's never been a worse year. This is a tough year for the league, and there's going to be a lot of repercussions. There have been repercussions, but everything happened at once. So maybe that means it's going to be something we can kind of blanket on a lot of things that need to be fixed here moving forward. But 100%, this is crazy. Yeah, this is what is CBC thinking after the 2 games that were late and canceled. All valid. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but and then I like John. Second straight championship weekend in Winnipeg.
Man, this is just like, I don't know, man. Again, I love this league. I mean, the 3 of us would die for this league. We'd take a bullet for anybody that runs the league and does everything night in and night out in our respective franchises as well. But like, again, I just got so many texts and messages here. I haven't even checked Instagram. I got like 10 DMs on there. And I'm thinking to myself, man, the only thing I can think of is like, it's just embarrassing. Like it's a black eye. It's a black eye that you can't avoid.
I have 56 text messages since the game ended.
Yeah. Like, it's just like, you can't.
The comments are not enjoyable to read. Like, it's just a cesspool of comments,
And that's where I feel bad for Brampton too. Like, you just have to take the punches, and you can't even you don't really have a chance to explain yourself in the moment right now that, again, this had nothing to do with you. It's not like the team came together and head coach Alex Serta had everybody put in the ice in the morning. Like, that had nothing to do. Like, it just sucks that again, quick texters and typers are going to be all over it and criticize the league and the teams. And again, I get it. Like, the idea that you want to,
like, here's the thing. Some of it is validated. Like,
absolutely.
People are disappointed. And even though whether it's the league's fault or not, it does fall like to that degree. Like, the league has to handle it now.
That's right? It. Like, the league gets
they've
punched.
got to handle it. Yeah.
Like, they get punched no matter what. Like, and that's what I said. Like, you get punched and you have to take the punch. Like, you can't just shy away and duck. And the best thing they did was release a statement. I mean, they had to, but I mean, we saw with that scuffle the other day in Brampton and Scarborough, we didn't hear anything for a day and a half. I mean, the good thing that we had that whole transparency conversation. The best thing is, I mean, again, they had to do this, but at least there was a statement released and a decision was made quickly on time, and we didn't have to wait 2 days for something. So that
here it is
that
again.
at least
I'll
makes
just
it
put it
feel
up
a
for
little
people
better
to read as we were going along here, but essentially I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially it just explains what happened. There was condensation on the floor, and that the next game will be one winner take all, which was supposed to be the game 2 of this series in Winnipeg on Saturday. Everything else is the same, and just saying that this is how it's been played for years, the single game elimination. So the statements there, they were quick to that. That is one of the silver linings, is they were able to come up and put something out relatively quickly. I just want to bring this up too, because now, and I'm not saying, because like he's saying maybe for the leagues just keep the finals in Winnipeg. I'm not saying that in Winnipeg, but I think this brings up an argument that maybe championship weekend wasn't so bad. Championship weekend, you have a lot of control leading up to it, right? I mean, when you look at curling, for instance, I know this is a weird thing that I'm bringing up, but stay with me on this. When you go to curling and they host these championships, like, ice is so sensitive in curling because it's pebbled, right? And there's people that are coming into the arenas, and it's going to affect the quality of the ice, where it is very important for how the rocks perform. Right. They come in here a year in advance and track the weather, the ice makers, to make sure that it's as close as possible. They try to control something that's not really controllable. When you host something that far in advance, you have that runway to see, okay, here's what we've had. We know that we've had this many fans. We can expect this. What are the best and worst case scenarios? And hey, because we booked it a year in advance, there's not going to be any ice under the floor. Again, it helps with the travel. These playoffs were wild for travel.
These
like
are
Chris, you and I were talking about it when there was that whole issue. I was like, how am I going to get to Vancouver? Like, I wanted to do what I'm doing here in Vancouver. I couldn't even have driven if I wanted to. Like it was too crazy. So I think there's some arguments to be made here of some things that were done in the past that were done away with that might not have been terrible. And if we just come to fruition that maybe it is a neutral site, maybe it's just the championship game. Maybe you have your conference finals kind of like the CFL, and that's like the local Super Bowl or Grey Cup, and then you go to the actual championship at the neutral site. But you can plan a year and ahead to go, and sell packages to people who want to travel there, and they have all the time in the world to plan. So I think, like, back to this one, I think, it doesn't have to be Winnipeg per se, but in a market where you have this control. Brampton was going to host it. They had a year. I guarantee you there would be no ice in here the day before the biggest game they've ever hosted was about to be played. So I just wanted to say that.
So is it warm in there too? Because no,
it's freezing.
It's cold.
It's freezing, dude.
Yeah.
I will say to you too,
Okay.
this is the coldest. When I walked in today, I said to like 4 people, I'm like, it's freezing in here. And right away I thought to myself, in the back of my mind, I kind of thought, I'm like, there has to be ice in here. There has to be something that happened or is going to happen or already there has to be ice in here because it's way too cold. And some guy on the concourse before the game said to me, there's ice in this arena. Like, it's freezing. There's no way it should be this cold. And I agree with you, Chris, too. I agree with this comment from John McTavish. I mean, the need for a commissioner to be front and center when something happens. Like,
we didn't have anybody from the league come out, to be fair. Like, we talked to owners. We've talked to Josh Frey-Sam's beside me writing his story for the Free Press, and that'll be out tomorrow morning, right? So your story will be out tomorrow morning, right, in the Free Press? Or this evening. So the Free Press story is going to be out soon here. The reporter from the Free Press, Josh Frey-Sam's beside me working on his story. And you didn't talk to any league members, right? No one from the league came out? No one was available from the league. So we've heard from head coach Mike Rainbow. We've heard from David Asper, and just from the Winnipeg side. And you're a Winnipeg reporter, so that makes sense. And Alex Serta wasn't available. Again, the coaches, I'll give a little bit of leeway too, because they have to get 100%. Their team set up to go and do it shouldn't be on the coaches to have to explain this is what I'm getting at. So hats off to Mike Rainbow for making a comment. But like, there's no one from the league that's facing up here and saying like, hey, all media that's here, and there's not a bunch of us, like, hey, we're going to have at least a statement. Maybe there's no questions, but we're going to come out and face forward this. And we don't have that. And I think this is the single, and there's been numerous examples this year where we could have used that commissioner and that face of the league, and we've not seen a face. If you're going to be a leader, whether it's for a league or a team or a business, like, you have to have someone that's going to be able to go face front, talk to the fans, talk to the audience, talk to the consumer, and let them know exactly what's happened and take some accountability. And that's an issue, I think, right here where John hits it on the head. Like, it's not just media talking about this. This is like fans that are noticing this now too. Like, they're like, in years past, it would have been Mike Morreale who would have came out and said, listen, here's where we are. Right. This is tough. Last year when they had all the issues, right? Last year, remember the issues in the Calgary Vancouver game with the video review, and there's a ton of questions. Mike Morreale came on our podcast to explain it. He took whatever avenue he could to get to as many fans that are dialed into this to say like, hey, yeah, it's not perfect, but we stand by it, whether you like it or not, because the system did what it was supposed to. You might not like the outcome, and that's fair for you to have your opinion. But there was someone there immediately that wanted to be in front of it. And we have not heard from anybody from the league other than these generic statements that at least this one came out in a timely fashion. Yeah. Well, and that's why I was so like, why didn't they stay with Rod and Joe? Like, or why didn't they? I wanted to hear from Donovan and the CBC crew. Like, you have people, like Rod Black and like Joe Razzo, and like Charles Kissy in-house, like, use them and, tell us what's going on. I was kind of shocked that they like went away from the broadcast so quickly. And I don't know, like, maybe that's a deeper conversation that I'm not really, privy to, but I wanted an update from somebody. And you're right, Joey. Morreale he did it in Montreal. Morreale would have jumped on that broadcast. And so talked about here just now, media just asked someone from the league for any more, and they said, no, the statement is suffices. That's it. Yeah. See, I want someone to anyways. Like, in the moment, this just happened now, right? So
I don't know, man. I mean, that's one of those things, back to the transparency thing, right? Like, I mean, Al Whitley's out here right now with his team, and they're checking things out, pointing out the floor, and they don't look pleased. But the thing too would be like, man, the transparency conversation we had the other day, like, you can't hide from certain things. Like, this will be all over social media. People will see this. I mean, the highlight pack that runs on TSN tonight, because it has to, because it's a carried product, and there's a deal with that network, will have this debacle on it. And again, like, you need to have someone come out and say, hey, we lost the battle here. We're not willing to lose the war, but we lost the battle here. We need to figure it out. And we understand that it's crappy for everybody that was involved. But at the same time, too, we're looking forward to finishing this finals off and then looking forward to a good offseason. Like, it's simple, man. It's something so simple as that you could say. And I don't know whose responsibility that is. I certainly wouldn't point fingers, but at the same time too, like, in the past, we've seen that kind of stuff, and it goes a lot further than people think, because it looks like there's trust in the league, and people understand that someone's actually working behind the scenes to make sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and whether that person lifts a finger the whole year or not. I mean, again, that's not a shot at past commissioner Mike Morreale, because I think he was an absolute workhorse that everybody enjoyed to be around. But the difference is, like, there just needs to be a face. There needs to be a name on the bag. There needs to be someone's face on the front of the book. Like, there needs to be something there to show that, look, we got this under control. We're taking care of it. This and that. So
this is going to be a great story. Like, I'll say this: like, when the book is written on the whatever anniversary of the CEBL, whether it's around 40 years from now or isn't around, and we do the book on like the craziness that was the CBL in the early days, like, we will be like, that was crazy, right? Like, it happened in the WHA, it happened in the ABA, all these types of different crazy things. So, like, these are the kind of things that makes league. And as we're told here, this is Nate the Great saying, growing pains totally. And I just want to put this one up because I actually don't think Bingo Bango, thanks for being on the show, Bingo Bango. Yeah, and this is why I bring it up. Appreciate you, Bingo Bango. I know you've been on here before, so appreciate you the comment. I don't think there's an asterisk on who wins, because this is always how it's been decided. I think there is an asterisk on the season for the CEBL, like, in terms of like the organizational side. The players are still going to go out there and compete, whether it's they won it in 2 games or won it in 1. This isn't like a bubble situation where you're playing this like fast track. Like, they still went through 24 games. They still had to go through the adversity, and I would argue this adversity is just as hard, because now they have to change everything to be like, okay, it didn't matter what happened in this game after we've spent 2 days preparing for this and going through our normal routines, to now it's a one game winner take all on Saturday. I just want to bring that up, because I disagree with that statement. I don't think there's an asterisk on the champion. I
agree. And Brampton's going to play so free. Like, what do they have to lose at this point, right? Like, this is the hand. This is the hand they're dealt, and now they get a 1-game championship on the road. Like, they're going to play free, and they're going to and they're just going to ball and see what happens, right? Let the chips fall where they may. I think there's no asterisk, but I think it's a challenge for for both teams to have this happen and just play 1 game on a whim. But I think Brampton's going to play free.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure, Wiggins, for sure. I would also say too, like, the one thing that I think is again a silver lining in this whole thing is, if I wanted there to be a 1-game final somewhere for league reputation and gate sales and concession sales and hype and entertainment, I want it to be in Winnipeg. Like, as much as the team that's playing you doesn't want it to be there. Yeah. I mean, the one thing that could resurrect this is Winnipeg having the biggest crowd in the world, and it ended up being a great outcome for both teams. But more importantly, the league has success in terms of fans and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Donovan Bennett was on the Instagram here, and he put a comment just saying many arenas don't want basketball because they don't want to deal with taking ice out. Going to be hard to get them to agree in a contract to not put ice in. But the thing is like, we play most of our games without it. Like, this is the thing. Like, I get it if it's the NHL arenas like the Jets and it's the playoffs, 100%. But like, those are the arenas that tend to not have these issues, right? Like, when the Jets were playing in the playoffs and the Seabears were playing, there was no humidity issues, right? Like, everything was taken precaution. There's just got to be something, and maybe that isn't the answer, but there's got to be something in place that makes sure that these games can go forward if this is going to be indeed a professional league. Maybe it is, I know some teams want to build their own arenas where they have a little bit more control and not share it with hockey teams. But again, we are in Canada. A lot of these are hockey first, or in some cases owned by hockey teams. It's going to be an uphill battle, but you have to have something in place here. If you're going to be in the CBL, and that might be it, then maybe we have to dock down teams. Maybe we do have to make it an 8-team league, or whatever the case may be, in order to get these arenas that will abide by it. But you can't go through, like, what I'm getting at is, if you're going to do it this way, where it's just whoever gets the finals goes, it's going to be tough. And then if that's going to be the thing, we can't go through this every year. So maybe you do go back to the championship weekend, where you could definitely have it in a contract that we have this weekend, like a concert would, right? This is what we're coming in this date. So we have it on lock. No one else can come in here. When the NHL makes their playoff schedule, they cancel off all the possible dates, and then they cancel as they are knocked out of the playoffs. So there are practices like this in pro sports that could allow for things like this to happen. But thanks, Donovan. I do appreciate chiming in. Donovan obviously covers a ton of sports and has been on the national scene for a long time, and he brings up a great point. It's going to be tough, but maybe the league has to adjust then. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I don't even know if there is an answer right now. I mean, that's part of the problem, right? I mean, like I think the problem with this kind of stuff is you can always point a finger, right? And there are always a million solutions and or suggestions, and there may not be a solution, but again, it's just so crappy that like Wiggins, you said, man, like it's been a super rough month for this league in the last couple of weeks, particularly. And it just seems like, again, you got knocked out, then you try to get up, and then you don't even have a chance to fight back. You get knocked out again. So, I mean, the one thing I will say is give the league a lot of credit for at least getting back up every time something like this happens. Whether there's no commissioner, there is a commissioner. People are making statements. People aren't making statements. Floors are leaking because of ice or whatever it may be. I mean, the league's still alive. That's the thing that I think we should all kind of step back and take a look at, because again, a lot of leagues like this in the past we've seen in Canada folded because of much lesser than this. So again, commend the people that are obviously making the decisions at the top. Particularly, again, I'll go to bat for Brampton any day, man. Like we see these people every day, how hard they go to work, especially the folks in Winnipeg as well. Like how much they go to work, hard work boots to make all this possible. And again, there were a lot of like I think the one thing tonight that is at least encouraging is everyone from the CEBL front office was here. CEBL front office is like an hour from here. Everyone was here, so at least that gives some perspective in terms of like who sees it, who's in the building,
as they
who
should.
Gets the,
Like that, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
should.
absolutely. I shouldn't make that sound like it's like an optional, a free skate here, an optional boarding shoot around. But
It's free
the
skate,
point-
but we want to use in this too.
no, that was a bad analogy. Sorry, sink or swim, literally swimming. But I think the idea is at least the more eyes, the better. And like you may see these things on TV, you may see these things online or the comments, this and that. But once you actually see it in person and the impact and the faces and they flew here from Winnipeg, and it hits a little more, right? And I think that was an important thing. That's a really good comment there from John too. Biggest crowd I've seen in the chat. People do care. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
Sure.
not like that just popped out of nowhere and people are just having
Yeah.
fun for no reason and stumbled upon.
And on
it.
that
building
point-
tonight.
On that
3200
point of people caring, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like Winnipeg is the team that has the most coverage in terms of City News is there, CBC is there, CTV is there, and like you just don't really see that, at least in the West, at any other at any other club, any other franchise, right? So in terms of like to your point, Bonomi too, like the facility, if you're gonna have one game, you want it in Winnipeg, like that's a high class facility with all the bells and whistles. And you want it, in a place like that where you can sell, tens of thousands of tickets. And so,
This is, I want to bring this up, Chris, because I know you.
I like when you do this because like you really get a sense of how, especially on the stuff under the floor, like that's where I see it the most.
Here, I'll bring this up.
So I actually will show you one
more.
more. I will show you one more little
Look
bit.
at that
So
piece right beside.
so it's
the side.
actually this is like currently wet. Like this is not like a sticky. Like that is like wet. So I can actually move that around. It's water, and I think the floor is in the same condition. Like I don't know how well you can see, but there are footprints on there. There are never footprints, man. That's condensation that has caused this. So you can even see it there, right? So I mean, you can watch the one clip, like the one clip we saw to open the game. I think Eli posted on the Target Score podcast story.
Yeah, shout out Eli.
Xavier Moon playing defense on Sean East, and Sean East slips, and then Xavier Moon drops, and it's like, oh my God, he had his guy on skates. Well, literally, he had his guy on skates because the floor is so
nice. Yeah.
Right. So, that's like real. I mean, we don't have that during the year. That's not like that hasn't been there before. So there was evidently an issue. And again, another thing to tip your hat to the league on is, and especially Mike Rainbow, who said this too, and I guarantee Brampton echoes the same sentiment of, like, thank gosh they canceled this, because if somebody came out here and tore an ACL or got hurt, or I mean, as much as people don't want this to be canceled, and as much of a headache as it is, like, you have to do that. There's no other option here. Like, if could you imagine if Xavier Moon came out here and slipped and hit his head off the ground, or Sean East on that play flipped back and tore his MCL or something?
Totally.
Yeah, like, I mean, their next team and their next stint is in jeopardy. And then someone's got to answer an even bigger question. Why did you play, right? So as much as this is annoying in the moment, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, I'm sure there are 24 guys or however many were dressed tonight between both teams that are certainly happy for their own safety that they didn't play. I mean, we saw a similar thing to this.
Yeah, this was discussed between the two teams.
A similar thing to this in Scarborough. I did the game 2 years ago where the floor was put together and they left gaps between the tiles on the floor. There were about 1 inch or 2 inch gaps on the tiles on the floor, and they canceled the game immediately. And there wasn't an upset person in the building just because they knew what was at stake. Again, this is all water here. Like, this This is wet. This wasn't here before the game. It's, again, I'll show you some more. I can actually move it and draw. Like, I could write D's name on there. That's actually how tall D is. That's what, 2 feet? So that's like a life-size version of, but trying to put some comedy on this terrible situation. Didn't work. But again, the floor.
I thought it was
like
good
this, like,
for what it's worth.
Thanks, Wiggins. This is also like, this is just the baseline, folks. This is like not on the floor. The actual floor itself you can't see because obviously it's a little lighter, but it is the same. Like, it goes right up to the edge here where I can wipe and you can see the line drawing, right? So you can go right onto the floor and you can hear, like, if I give you this.
Oh yeah, that's
right? So, like,
action.
It's enough to make you think twice. And again, if I'm slipping on that as a 200-pound guy, I just released my weight there, revealed my weight on the floor. I mean, I don't want to be a 6'8", 300-pound guy sliding around on a court like this.
Great coverage here. This is a great view.
Yeah, you guys normally get the. What's
the reason I asked if it was hot in there? Like, you must be the hardest working guy in the building because, like, it looks like you've, like, put in a full shift. Like, I thought, like, you got some sweat going on here.
You just take a shot at me?
No, I'm just
taking a shot at my oily skin. Ouch, Chris Wiggins.
There he is. He's right over there in the corner. Joey's
there. He is. Oh yeah, you can almost touch him.
Yeah, there he is. I won't do that. I won't go that far. But it is crazy. I mean, you've got Al Whitley out there, of course, team CEO, taking a look at things. Obviously, really upset with the situation and the game day crew tearing things down. But just a really unfortunate situation. Ultimately, I think the right decision was made. But I mean, fans wise, I get why people are upset and may lose out on a lot. But the good news is, talking to a ton of Winnipeg people on the way out, a lot of them seem to think that they'll find a way, or in the goodness of their heart, David Asper and company will find a way to kind of make it worth it to them. And again, I said to a couple of them on the way out, if you go home and you win a championship, I mean, no one's going to remember this. You won a championship. I mean, people will for sure, but I mean, the thing is, you get the title. At Brampton,
in the corners there, is that ice? Like, I see white.
Yeah, the white, that's the ice coming out. And that before you came on, we were talking about that. Like in Winnipeg,
where's that?
There wasn't the ice coming out. Like, if you look in the
corners of the tiles,
there's like ice. You can there's white ice coming out. Whereas, like, when it happens in Winnipeg, when the ice is in, you can see the ice, but like through the hole, and it's down. Like, it's not coming out. Like, you can't really see it, but you put your finger, you could feel it. Like, I've never seen it come out in frost like that. Like, I've never seen that.
So this one's like basically melted. Yeah, oh, absolutely, it's ice. Yeah, it's cold. It's like you can like pick away at it, and see how it comes up on my finger.
Oh yeah,
it's certainly ice. But I mean, even then, dude, like the fact that this board right here is only like an inch thick, whatever it is. Yeah. It's almost like a foamy kind of thing, and the floor itself is only, I'm going to get really low here, is only a couple inches off of that. Right? These are only boards. They're only boards, and they're wooden boards that are connected at the seam there.
But you look at this.
It's yeah, you want me to get under there? It's probably D's probably hiding under there. That's where he hides after a bad hit to start the game. If he screws things up, he can fit under there too. But it's stuff like the construction of the thing it's very delicate. Again, in that game in Scarborough that I did, it's very delicate when the boards don't go together correctly, or there's stuff underneath there, or something's off. They don't play games with that kind of stuff, which again is good, but also annoying for anybody that wants the game to be played, but in reality, it's the right decision.
Yeah, totally. This guy brought up the Oren Weisfield article. I've not. I can't give you my thoughts. I haven't read it, but there was a buzz going out between at least us media people when it did come out. So, Andrew, I have not read it yet, but I am looking forward to reading it because I know there's Oren does a great job with his basketball journalism, and tries to hold people to account. And he's a guy who also loves the league. I don't know him personally, but he's done some work with the CEBL, and it's out of love. So I'm curious to see what his thoughts are before the game, let alone after the game, which is just kind of coincidental timing.
We had a floor issue in Vancouver halfway through the year too. Our main floor got shipped to Kelowna for that game, and it got damaged on the way back. And we had another game like in 48 hours after, and so they had to pull the court in from Abbotsford where they used to play. But again, like it doesn't take much. I think it was a little bit of, maybe water or rain on the way back from Kelowna down the Coquihalla. And so I get a little bit of water and it's kind of pooched.
Coquihalla sounds like the drink Joey's going to be having in about an hour.
What's your drink, Joey? What's your drink, Joseph?
Tonight,
lime
everything.
Lime water. No, I enjoy a good local brew, so I might find a nice local brewery here in Brampton.
Hey, I'm getting out here. It's dinner time on the West Coast. Thank you, boys.
Dinner time. Get
See you,
out of here,
Wiggins.
Chris. Hey, thanks for coming in, Wiggy.
Bonomi, appreciate you, and you too, Slattery.
Always a pleasure.
Love you, Cannonball. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Yeah, that was Wiggins, Chris Wiggins, Cannonball Chris, watching from Vancouver, chiming in, and the comments are crazy. I'll never get to all of them. This is wild, and it's a lot of the same stuff in different ways, and I love the banter that's happening between you all in the chat. If you're watching this in replay, I can tell you there's a lot of chats, and if you're listening to this in podcast form, I'm sorry if it's a little confusing. Just trying to gauge the temperature of what's happening here, but
literally,
I like that one here. I don't even know if they have the show anymore, but I remember what you're talking about here, Andrew. And this is, and he's a Niagara fan, so love to have the Niagara fans on board here too, right? So, this is the nice thing. I think there's a place for that, but this is, one of the things that we like doing here is talking about the basketball and, these things here, the real new stuff that happens when you're not expecting it. So, here's the point here from Nate the Great. The insulation on the ice there is not as thick as what is in Winnipeg. Winnipeg has repeatedly been ranked by NHL players to have some of the best ice. That organization makes sure that issues and hold on, where's the rest of this? Like that do not happen. Not to blame the crew in Brampton, but Canada Life Center staff take a lot of pride in being able to host and not have issues like this happen. And that might just be because they are in the NHL too, right? So, that's the other thing that talking about the floor, I do actually have a chunk of Winnipeg floor that was but it was on the sidelines, I think, from where the fans were sitting. So hey, there's problems everywhere, but that didn't stop the game from happening. That's for darn sure. Drakenator says, I'm ready for a winner take all Saturday. I did my laundry today as my CEBL shirt ready to go on Saturday, but won't be able to watch it live in the city, but we'll watch it on YouTube. Go CEBL. Drakenator, we will see you on there. I'll be on the call for that as well. But hey, man, we're getting through this. Like, hey, we're getting information as we go. We've talked about a lot of the issues. I agree with those that have said we should have heard someone from the league and figuring out, having a little more clarity on this. But they put out a statement. That's good. We know what happened. And we just got to, it's frustrating. But Saturday, we got to put this all behind us because there's a championship game to be played. And we can rehash this as we come back, after the season and kind of do a loop on this. But this has been a crazy year news-wise for the CEBL, from the fight in Scarborough to this, the Teddy Allen stuff. It's been wild. And honestly, Saturday's going to come and it'll all be forgotten for a little bit for the team that wins. And then we'll rehash this throughout the offseason and into the preseason next year. What's going to changes are we going to see made from this? But wild. And we've been going for almost an hour here, Matt. So maybe I'll give you some final words here before we wrap up. And D and I will be on tomorrow morning. So for those that still want to talk about it, we'll be on tomorrow at 9:30, I believe, Eastern time, which is 8:30 Central time. So if you can't make it up because it's a little early for you, I understand. And it'll be on replay on audio podcast, as will this, and replay on YouTube. But go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, I might hop on with you guys for a minute if you got space on the call there. Guessing D's probably going to bail anyway. But again, I just want to say thanks to you, Joey, for giving us a platform to talk about this stuff. I know, again, there's a joke about CEBL Weekly there, but being able to talk about this and give kind of an insight to those that are curious about it, especially an event of this magnitude that people have tuned into nationally across the country. Like I said, I'll reiterate what I said earlier. Again, really crappy situation here. Priority of the players is obviously number one. This has nothing to do with what the team did to prepare for this. The Brampton squad, Al Whitley, Leonard Asper, Jermaine Anderson, none of those guys had anything to do with this in terms of what happened. Should the league response have been or maybe more prepared for something like this to happen, or someone at the CAA Centre aware of this? Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, stuff happens, right? And like you said, Joey, we'll get through it. I mean, it sucks. Eventually, a finals will be played, whether it's what you expected or not, or you like or not. A champion for 2026 will be crowned. And put it this way, this is one less thing that we'll have to worry about next year, because I guarantee you, if they're playing in this building again, someone will have a contingency plan for what to do when the ice melts.
Yeah, 100%. But hey, we thank all of you for being here. Everybody in the comments, it was great. And listen, for those that I, going, taking those opinions and giving mine, I appreciate everybody being their true emotions on here, and I welcome it. You guys have been great throughout the season here on these live chats. We welcome all of the takes, and we're just hashing it out on what we know, what we don't know, what we speculate based on the knowledge we do have. But I appreciate everybody bringing a very good conversation here. It was healthy. Everybody's talking here together, and it's been great. I love all you guys, especially all the guys that are here all the time. For the new viewers, like, subscribe. We're here all the time, every game day. We've got programming throughout the week, and hit that subscribe button and notifications on so you don't miss any shows. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks, John McTavish, for Lowen. We'll see you guys back in Winnipeg when we get there. And it's going to be a great time on Saturday. So let's enjoy it. I want to thank our sponsors real quick: Holt Dental, Zweeke, Monday's Cafe, and Finn McCool's. I know there probably some of you were at Finn McCool's tonight watching the teal party, the game day, the party watch that didn't happen really. But thanks to Finn's for that. We got some gift certificates to give away, and we're going to give those away. I believe they gave away some tickets as well today, 2 tickets to that Saturday game. And lucky you, whoever got them, because you're going to see the trophy awarded no matter what. Zweeke, Monday's Cafe, corner of Donald and Broadway, Zweeke 65 Trotter Bay, and Holt Dental 1176 Taylor Avenue. All great sponsors. Holt Dental's been there since day one. Always appreciate that. So yeah, everybody have a great night. Sorry we didn't get to watch the basketball game.